Song of Songs 2:4. Heviani el Beit Hayayin, vediglo alai ahava. So we get here at the beginning the hifil. This is the hifil of the verbal root bo, and so we notice the hifil here because of the hey performative. This would be an I-class performative vowel, just like we would expect to see in the hifil perfect if we were looking at these boxes here as the root letters. We also get the hirik yod, which is typical of the hifil. So we have hifil perfect third masculine singular plus a 1cs suffix. And so this would be he, hifil, caused me object to come. Now, I always tell students this to iron out the hifil. Use the causative. He caused me to come. But if you cause something to come, you brought it. And so he brought me, then we get the prepositional phrase, to the house of wine, to the house of wine. This is idiomatic for a banqueting house or maybe a vineyard house where wine would be made, but oftentimes also drunk. So he brought me to the banqueting house. And then we get this word's got a lot of history. I take this to be his banner or some sort of military standard over me. Verbless clause was ahava, love. His banner over me was love. And that's often how we know this verse from Song of Songs. Let's come back to this word here for a minute. If we take it as it is, and there's a variety of ways that this gets repointed, even in medieval manuscripts, also the Septuagint seems to take this word a little differently, almost as a verbal, his gaze at me was love or something like that. But if we take it as it is, it's just the seglet noun degel. Let me get this written out here, degel, which is just this military standard. Christopher Mitchell, in his commentary, I've mentioned him a couple of times, has a great textual commentary alongside of the theological commentary in the Concordia series and gives good discussion here. And I think he lands with this concept, well, I know he lands with this concept of a military standard, giving some cross-references to Numbers as well, where the word is used. And I just think he has a good balance here of seeing this as a military standard and something similar to the book of Numbers in the same way that the Lord was a military banner over his people as he guided them to the promised land. So now Solomon is a military banner over his beloved as he's leading her to the banqueting house.